Hello everyone and welcome back to the World War II Solitaire board game channel and my very first playthrough video of the legendary B17 Queen of the Skies. This is the Avalon Hill release, and as you can see, wow, this game requires a lot of table space. So don't worry, I just wanted to show you a overhead picture first so you can get an idea of where everything is at my gaming table, and then once we'll get going, we're gonna go ahead and I'll do some editing, and we'll go straight to the whatever. If we're moving on the movement map, we'll go to the movement map. If we're fighting enemy fighters on our mounted map, we go to the mounted map, and so on. Well, I just want to say welcome to everyone. I've been waiting to play this game for a long while. I bought this game quite a few years ago, but I never got around to play it. And then I learned how to play Patton's Best, and after learning how to play Patton's Best, I just thought, well, learning B17 Queen of the Skies, that's going to be a cakewalk, and really a cakewalk it was. The rules are quite simple. You will learn how to play it very fast. However, once you get into it, there are going to be situations where you're not really going to be, many situations which perhaps can only happen once if you play for many years. So it's going to be hard to know exactly the rules in the back of your head, like I do with Patton's Best, because there's really so many things that can happen. There is a total of 45 tables to roll on in B17 Queen of the Skies. So there are going to be situations where you're going to have to look up rules because, it's going to be impossible to memorize the 45 tables in your head. Okay, I went and asked people on different places on the internet, Facebook and the Boardgame Geek, and on the channel, if some people wanted to join this campaign. So the idea here is we're going to keep playing the campaign as long as we have our original plane and at least one of our original crew members. Once both the original plane and all of our original crew members are KIA or sent home due to wounds, we're going to end the campaign. And perhaps we'll play another one. We'll see about that. And I mean, the original rules are a little bit, I don't know how to say, it's a little bit hard to... It's not really hard, it's just a little bit weird. It says that, yeah, you can play 25 missions, and then after the 25 missions, you can compare if you won more scenarios than you lost, you have won the campaign. And it also says that if your all original crew members die, and if the original plane is destroyed, you will just keep on playing for 25 missions. It doesn't really make sense to me. I would at least want to have, I know many people play it that it actually has to be the pilot that survives for the 25 missions for you to win. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do at least one of the original crew members or the original plane. Okay, so let's go down to our composite mission record so we can see who we have on this on the crew of them. We have 10 crew members and the name of our B17. All right, so here we have our B17 composite mission record and our first B17. I don't know if you can write, sorry if you can read my horrible writing, but also it's kind of hard with this kind of pencil and in these very small boxes, but I shall read them out loud to you. There's also a star in each corner to show that these are indeed original crew members. So the name of our first B17 is Heaven's Way. We have our bombardier, Lieutenant Johnny P., our navigator, who is Lieutenant Rick Tor. And again, apologies if I pronounce your names badly. Our pilot, Captain Daniel Niemi, yours truly. Our co-pilot, Lieutenant Rodrigo Buffet, or Buffett. Let me know, Rodrigo, how you would pronounce that. Buffet or Buffett. Engineer, Master Sergeant Ronald Lee Ermey. Radio operator, Sergeant Tom Martin. Our ball turret gunner, Sergeant Angus Jung. Our port waist gunner, that is going to be Malcolm Jung. Starboard waist gunner, Sergeant Cliff Williams. And our tail gunner, Sergeant Bon Scott. You can also join this team if we take casualties, I should say. There are a few. I think we have 15 names. So if we take more than 5 casualties, we're going to need more crew members. And of course, I will save it until perhaps I'll do another campaign if this one ends early. So if you want to be on the team, it doesn't matter if this video is a few weeks or months or years old, because again, I might do more campaigns. So I will save your name to the roster. You can also go ahead and give me a name of a B17. I'll save that to a roster as well. And whenever a spot comes up, you can join our legendary adventures in our B17. Alright, so the first thing we do here with our B17 mission chart, we go ahead and enter the bomber's name, which was Heaven's Way. And it is going to be mission number 1, and for this bomber it is also going to be mission number 1. So then we have to roll to see our target city and target type. So since this is mission 1, on mission 1 to 5, you will roll on the green 1 chart. We roll 1d6. Let's get our dice tower over here. And we roll a 3. We can see here on the chart, that means we're going to Amiens, and targeting a railyard. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and roll on the next chart here, and this is the B17 Position Information. You can also see this on the green chart. It is going to be green chart number 4. And we can see here that we actually have 2 things to roll for. We have to first roll for formation position, and then for squadron position. But we can see here that that is only for mission 6 to 25 only. So we're just going to roll on the first chart. We roll 2d6 on our formation position. And roll a 5, so that means we're in the middle. So there's not going to be any modifiers for us to care about. We can see here that if we would have rolled lead or tail, we would get +1 Messerschmitt for each combat turn. So that's a good thing we did not roll. And then squadron position, we'll get into that once we get to episode 6. That's going to be 1 mission for each episode. So, okay. So before we get going, we are going to consult green chart number 11. That is called Flight Log Gazetteer. And I'm sure I pronounced that incredibly incorrectly. We check our target city. And target city for today is going to be Amiens. And Amiens has a -2 and a 0. So -2 for zone 2. Should we go ahead and note that? -2. And for zone 3, we have a 0. So we note a 0 here on fighter waves on our mission chart. So we start traveling here with our bomber. Our bomber starts at the 8th Air Force Base over in England. And we travel 1 zone per turn. So first we travel to zone 1. In zone 1 there cannot be any attacks, no German attacks. So basically we do nothing on the outbound journey in zone 1. Okay, so where is our target? We need to go to Amiens. Amiens is over here, and that's where we have our railyard. So we will face that target zone, and we go to the next zone. Now we're in zone 2, so what we need to do now is to roll to see if we have enemy fighter waves coming to us. And we will go do that by consulting Bluff. I think it's called Bluff, the yellow chart. Bluff number 1. So we can see here on this chart that we will have combat on a roll of 3 or higher. However, remember that we consulted the Gazette, which told us that for zone number 2, when going to Amiens, we have a -2 to our roll. So that's why you consult, and you have to constantly use your mission chart as kind of a backup for the charge you're rolling. So basically now, pretty simple. Trying here to not confuse you guys. Sorry if I do, but we roll on chart bluff 1, number of German fighter waves in non-designated target zone. We roll 1d, and we have a -2 modifier to our roll. And we roll 4, so that turns into 2. And on a roll of 1 to 2, there is no combat. So we have no combat in this turn. Then we enter our target zone, zone 3, which has Amiens railyard. And the first thing we're going to do now is to roll on the orange table to see weather. And we roll a 1, or we should actually roll 2d6. And roll a 3, so that means we have poor weather. So we go ahead and note that here on our mission chart. See here, weather at the target is poor. One more thing, and it's actually not an error, but you have your fighter cover here, and basically the first thing you do when you get to a zone is you roll to see your fighter cover, but in missions 1 to 5, fighter cover will always be good. So that's why we haven't done that. I'll show you the chart here. It's green number 5, and that's the first thing you do as you enter a zone. So the first thing you should have done in zone 2 is mark on the outbound good fighter cover, and in zone 3 we have good again. But as you see here on the chart, you should roll for it, except missions 1 to 5, where it will always be good. So that's one of the things that I really like with this game, is that you have really the first 5 missions, it's going to be an easier time, and it's going to be easier to learn how to play it, just because there's a little bit less things going on. Okay, so what we do now is a normal check for to see how many waves of enemy fighters we have. We consult our yellow bluff. And this time we see that we do not, in zone 3, we have no modifier. So if we roll a 1 to 2, we have no fighter waves. 3 to 5, we have 1 enemy fighter wave. On a roll of 6, we have 2. Ooh, we roll 6. Okay, so bad things can happen now. The first thing we're going to do is roll 2d6 on B3, bluff 3, attacking fighter waves. The first one is 16, so we go ahead and note 16. There is no attackers. So we just go ahead and scratch it off immediately, and then second wave is going to be 34. 34 is going to be, we just note it here, 34. That is going to be 190 at 1030 high, and 110 vertical climb. And before I place them out on my combat map, I'm gonna roll to see if my fighters actually drive them off. And to do that, you actually have to consult the map itself. And let's see, it is gonna be M4, so map 4, fighter cover defense. So if we roll a 3 or higher now, we actually manage to drive both of these enemy planes off. And roll a 6, so if we look here at the chart, that means at good cover, I would actually drive off 3 enemy planes and 2 enemy planes during any consecutive attacks. So these guys retreat. Anyway, we have recorded that we have bad weather here in zone 3 over the target. That is going to make it a little bit harder to manage to hit our target. But the next thing we do now is we actually go ahead and check if we get hit by flak. And the first thing we need to do is determine amount of flak. So we look at table here, orange 2. So we want to have a low number here. We definitely don't want to roll 6. And we roll 3, so that's pretty good. We have light flak. So then we move on to table orange 3, flak to hit B17. And we check here, first to right, we have the light flak, which is currently our flak level. So pretty sure we will not get hit by the flak, but you never know. We roll 2d6. Brace yourselves, men. Ooh, we rolled 9, and that is going to be a miss for the flak, so we are not affected by any flak damage. That's pretty good. And now it's time to roll for our bomb run. So we look at our 06 orange 6 bomb run chart, and we have a roll of 1 to 2 is off target, and a roll of 3 to 6 we are on target. However, we have poor weather, and poor weather we have a -1 die roll modifier, so that's pretty bad. We will attempt to hit the target. We roll a d6. We roll a 1, so that is going to be off target. That's pretty bad. Okay, so the thing we do now is we go to orange 7, bombing accuracy. Roll 2d6 to determine the percentage of bombs hitting within 1,000 feet of aiming point. So we go ahead and roll 2d6. And we roll 8, so that is going to be 0%. So unfortunately, we note it here on our mission chart. Unfortunately, yes, that's not very good. But we did what we did what we could, and it's not always going to be a victory. We had poor weather also, so Okay, and we go ahead and turn back towards England, and then we roll again to see if we get attacked by enemy fighters. And we're still now we're in zone 3 going back. So we note here, normally you would roll for fighter cover, but mission 1 to 5 is automatically good. So good, but we have no modifier here. We can see for fighter waves. So we roll on the bluff 1 chart, 1 to 2, there's not going to be any enemy fighters. And we roll a 1, so no enemy fighters manages to intercept us. Alright, this is Daniel from the future here again. Sometimes that happens. I noticed that I rolled on the B1 chart, the bluff 1 chart. I should of course have rolled over the B2 chart because we are over the designated target zone. For the first time I did, it did not matter since I rolled a 6 and I had a minus to roll because of our poor weather. But now I rolled a 1, which would be a -1, but it can't go further down than 1. So it is a 1, and that means in the designated target zone we have 1 wave of enemy fighters. So I have to roll 2d6 now. I roll 16. That is gonna be no attackers. So in effect, we did not have an enemy fighters come attack at us. So okay, moving on. We go back. We're now in zone 2, and we note that we have good target cover, and we roll to see if we have any enemy fighters coming. We have here -2 now to our roll. We look at, again, bluff chart number 1. And we roll a 2, which turns into a 1, can never go below 1, and that is no fighters. So we return here to zone 1. We haven't even seen any combat. We only saw those 2 planes coming at us, which were actually sent back by our very good fighter escort. So we roll now, however, to see the weather, and we roll again on orange. And we roll 7, that is going to be good weather, so very likely we will not have any problems here. We go move to the 8th Air Force Base, where we're going to land. And we roll on landing on land. That is going to be green. So we can see here that on a roll of 2 to 12, the crew and B-17 is safe. But since our weather over in England is good and we have no damage to the planes, we could have had a broken landing gear, whatever. That would have meant we would have negative modifiers. You can see here the landing modifiers can be +1, 0, 1, 2, -2, and so on. So basically it's impossible for us not. We roll a 4, which is crew and B-17 safe. Okay, so this is actually going to be a draw. I usually note here in the corner if we ever had a draw or if we won. And since we didn't manage to hit even 1% at the target, unfortunately, it is going to be a draw. And what we'll do here now is we take our B17 composite mission record, and I just make a mark like this to show that these guys are still alive. and ready to go for the next mission. And I make a little star in the corner to show that they are part of the original crew members. And like I said a few times now, I am gonna keep at it until we have everyone killed in action, or if we do 25 missions. Amiens railyard. I think it's a little bit unfortunate that we didn't get actually to do any damage on the target. And just before we go, I just want to show you quickly the map of the game. So we have the mounted map here, and this is where you would place your, for example, 10 o'clock level or perhaps 6 o'clock high. That's where you would place your enemy fighters, but we didn't really get into any of the fighting since our fighters drove them off. And then, of course, also we have our, which shows our crew members. They're a little bit banged up now. And that is that we have the bombardier up here. We have the navigator, the pilot, co-pilot, engineer, radio operator, ball gunner, port waist gunner, starboard waist gunner, and tail gunner, and a bunch of fire extinguishers. So I'm sure this is not going to last. This is actually the very first mission that I don't have any combat at all. So watch next episode, guys. Don't miss out. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I'm sure bad things are going to happen because, well, I mean, people complain about Patton's best. I can tell Patton's best is a cakewalk against B17 because B17 is a heartbreak. You are going to die. Guys, thank you so much for watching B17 Queen of the Skies here on the World War II Solitaire board game channel. I hope that you will join me for the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe. Also helps me out a lot if you comment or like the video. If you want to help me a little bit extra, you can become a member of the channel for only $1.99 US a month. You support me to keep buying new cool games and, you know, buy new equipment for recording and so on. I'm trying to get to buy a new camera because I'm not super satisfied with the video quality of this one. And if you want to give me a small donation, you can do so on PayPal. You find the address in the video description, or you can do it on YouTube as Super Thanks. And it doesn't matter if you want to give $1. $1 definitely helps. You know, it's $1 towards the goal. Anyway, guys, that is it from me. I hope I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.